What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny Morning Show for Friday, January 20th, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Dr. Wiley himself, Colin Moriarty.
Why are you sitting on that side?
Because we talked about it. That's where I sat now. When you gave up the throne.
We never talked about it.
All right. Kevin, will you go to the archive for the one that Colin and I were on at the table? Not yesterday when we were sick. Show begins the same way.
Stop sipping your coffee. Why are you like bothering me in every way you possibly can today? I don't understand. It's Friday.
What have I done?
I just want peace and quiet and tranquility in my life.
You check out what's going on in the back? In the back room? Nope, not there.
It's a cityscape of San Francisco, Kev.
Talking to Colin.
Oh, sorry.
What?
You check out what's going on in the back room? You'll see it later.
What is it?
Go check it out.
It's probably not that important.
No, it's not that important.
You're 100% right.
Is it your driving thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kev's got his driving chair back there so he can VR drive it. Have you used it yet, Kev? Have you sat down in the cockpit and done something?
This morning.
What'd you think?
Fucking awesome.
Did you VR it too?
I don't know what that means.
You used the VR?
Oh, yeah. No, that's
so explain to people what you're doing back there.
I was looking for that video for you.
Gotcha.
I guess I'll stop that.
Okay.
I have a VR. I wish I had a picture to show them.
You should have done that probably, yeah. You're the one who led us down this train of conversation.
You're the one who let us down.
Well, I wasn't going to make a big deal about it. I was going to stop it then when he was like, I don't know what it is.
Here's what you do. Break out your phone, put on Periscope, go down there, second screen experience it
That
up.
seems really complicated.
Really, it's not. You just turn on the phone, you put on Periscope. That Cool Greg will take it for you.
Go grab the thing and bring it right here.
Bring the driving chair in here. Yeah, that's a great one.
It's a little heavy.
Send it back to wherever it came from, actually.
Where'd it come from? Portugal?
UK.
UK.
Same thing. Send it back.
I thought it was some country with a P, though, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Huh.
Peru.
No, that's where I came from.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm incorrect about what we're
Obergruppen
reporting
Führer
from.
Kevin, you didn't come from Peru.
You can't call me that.
He just did.
That's not okay.
He just did.
Obergruppen Führer.
Like, this is taking so long to like.
God, your phone sucks. Will you please buy an iPhone?
I've just never done it before.
You're just the worst. You're among the worst. You're the worst.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, it's done. We don't
Dude,
care anymore.
I'm right there.
Don't care anymore. You had your chance.
Go live.
We tried to make you a moment. We tried to give you a thing.
All right, I'm doing it.
So
now
Kind of Funny Kevin is live on Periscope right now?
Yep, I'm going to pull it up here. I'm going to pull it up here.
He's gonna, I see. Oh, this is cool. Now we have the 5th camera. Let's see how long it takes him to pull this up. It's going to take a while, but you know what I'm saying?
Get up close to them. Get up close to them.
Right now you're filming us because Kevin doesn't know what he's doing, Greg. But then you're going to walk back there and film that little cockpit Kev got. Here we go. Let's see if Kevin can figure this out.
It's supposed to be sideways, right?
It can be however you want it to be, big cool Greg.
Professionals.
Yeah, you do want it. Professionals would want it sideways, yeah.
Right.
If Nick Scarpino wasn't dead somewhere in a ditch, he'd want it sideways. All right, it's all set. You can go now, Cool Greg. Cool Greg, go show him what it's all about.
There you go.
Show Kevin's cockpit in the back there.
Show him the cockpit.
Man,
hell of a delay on Periscope.
Right here. Huh?
It's a hell of a delay on this Periscope.
Right? Weird. Yeah, there it goes. He's going backwards. Going back through the thing. There's Nick's desk. There's my desk. There's Colin's desk. The hallway.
Now I have. There's still heavy wire management.
And there it is.
Yeah, look at that shit. Oh my
cockpit.
God, it's beautiful.
All set to go. So you can VR. Let's play it up. Do all your jazz. You excited? You gonna spend some time here this weekend? Night? Tonight?
Well, not tonight. Definitely not this weekend though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's specifically for VR driving?
No, you
No,
can
it's
mount a
just for
television
racing.
on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But Kev's all stoked for VR.
I just put it together right now. I need to take my time and wire everything carefully, organize the wires.
Who sent this to us?
Together. Symtech.
And this is the Symtech chair and cockpit, a bunch of Logitech stuff, right? The wheels and whatnot.
Yeah, Logitech G29. Awesome wheels.
We'll definitely be doing Let's Plays and videos about it. You're doing a time-lapse build back there, you said?
Yeah.
Nice. Good job.
I don't know how to stop this fucking thing.
Throw it on the ground. Spike your phone on the ground as hard as you can, I think, and that shuts it down. Shuts it down pretty well.
Greg, you know I can't laugh. I cough too hard.
Ugh, Jesus Christ. How you feeling?
Way better than I was yesterday. Holy shit, I thought I was dead yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was awful. Not good, Greg.
No, not good?
Not good at all.
Okay.
Oof. I was just at home. I couldn't move.
What did Paula stay home? She take care of you?
So Paula was also sick. Which sucked for her because then she just became my nurse.
Oh, so that's
my degree of
now,
sickness.
was that because of, is that because of severity?
Yeah,
Not just because of your gender politics?
Right. Men can be nurses too.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying you don't strike me as the type that would put someone above yourself. It seems like you'd get sick and then it all gets taken out on
I mean,
Paula.
that's how bad I was. Like how out of commission I was.
Sure. I
That
feel
was
in the
like, there's nothing I
inverted
can do.
pyramid of, you know, responsibility and levels, like, don't get me wrong, you're carrying all of us on top, but then it's you, but then it's Paula. And so I feel like if Paula got a limb chopped off and you had a hangnail, you'd still be like, honey,
No.
take care of me.
No.
Paula Bear,
I would take care of her.
Paula Bear, I'm sick, I don't
But
feel with my
I was just
hangnail.
constantly like, wake up, gasping, because my lungs were just covered in mucus, I
Gross.
guess. Gasping, being like, I don't know what to do. And she'd be like, well, I've made you dinner, or breakfast, or lunch.
Whatever meal, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know, it's just dog food.
And I'd be like, yeah, put the TV back on, and I'd pass out after like 20 minutes. And that's what I did all day.
Gotcha.
So it was exciting.
Colin, similar in this vein of thought, where do you come down on the Mucinex commercials? These little fucking
cartoons?
globs in there.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not as they don't get me as upset as the toenail fungus people
Yeah,
do.
that was a Super Bowl commercial.
Whoa, and they lift it up and you're like, oh, that's like a literal nightmare I've had where my toe comes up and it's got all the fucking shit. Whoa, doctor, no thank you. Colin, Donald J. Trump's officially the president.
Yep.
What'd you think of the inauguration?
I slept through that.
Okay.
I haven't watched anything. See a lot of snark on Twitter. That's going to certainly not buy him another 4 years, but yeah, I got to go home and watch all that. I was up very late till like 3 playing a game last night. So,
Sure. Did you do some push-ups too?
No.
Okay.
Make push-ups. What kind of question is that even? But no, I'll catch up on all that later. I'm going to write a little piece about that I'll put on Facebook maybe today as well that I wanted to write already, but I just kind of ran out of time last night because I was playing
You were working.
GameX.
You were working.
So, yeah, I think that, watching Twitter meltdown has been not even funny, but just kind of sad.
Here's my question about the Twitter meltdown.
Yeah.
Is that I understand my feed is cultivated for video game people, our friends, best friends, stuff like that. That's who I follow. News sources for that. So I understand that most of them, liberal on the liberal side of the equation, right? You follow plenty of conservative people. Is it as
Not
doom?
really.
Is it as doom and gloom? But I mean, for your political stuff.
I mean, I
in
follow
general.
like a handful of.
Is it as doom and gloom from them? Is it as
No, I mean,
snarky
I
as
don't
them?
think even some Republicans or conservatives like Trump, and there are some Democrats that do like Trump, clearly because he won a bunch of people that voted for Obama twice. But no, I mean, I only follow like 200 people, and I don't really. I follow like organizations, and there are a few people like my good friend Dave Rubin and some other guys that have more conservative leanings or whatever. But I don't typically follow like individual people because I'm not really super interested in hearing the things that that. Like, I don't need to read. It's like why I don't watch Fox News or something like that, or enjoy, I don't know, some of these conservative blogs or whatever, because it's like, I don't know, I know how I feel or how I'm supposed to be. I like to see the other side, so it's nice. It's just sad to me that this is going to be the resistance to a Trump presidency, and I think that it's sad, and I think it's misguided. I think that, as I said yesterday, and as I will write in the tenor of my piece today, will basically be that like we need an honest, good, mind-driven, brain-driven resistance to this particular brand of conservatism, and we are not getting it, and that makes me very sad because expectations are so low for Trump that he will exceed your expectations, and because you've set them at the ground level. And as I said yesterday, you have to hit him. If you really want to dismantle what he's doing, then you have to set the bar high. And running around calling Rex Tillerson, an idiot. Newsflash: Rex Tillerson was the CEO of ExxonMobil, not a dumb man. Going after every cabinet position is an idiot. Every cabinet position is stupid. Every cabinet position is evil. Like, no, these are actually there's some cartoon characters on there. There's some very smart people on that cabinet as well. Let's keep things honest and grounded, and then set expectations for these people to achieve things on behalf of all of us. And if they don't, then you have some ammunition to destroy them, because clearly your ammunition didn't work.
Sure.
He won.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
He
for me,
won.
that was the whole thing with this. Of course, I'm not a Trump guy or whatever. For me, I feel like today's all right. The slate's clean. The arguments that were made beforehand and during the election and in this run up to here didn't work, and nobody cares about them. So fine, let's move forward. In his speech today, he said, he's never ever gonna let any of us down. It's like, okay, so now when he does let me down, keep track of that and go from there.
Exactly. Like, go find what his policies were, his protectionist policies if you don't agree with them, his tax policy if you don't agree with that, his environmental policy, et cetera, and so on. Identify those things that bother you, that you have expectations, or things that you want to happen that he hasn't achieved, and make sure he achieves them. And then you can hit him on policy levels, because clearly the personal stuff doesn't work. And actually, I really do believe turns people away. And so when I see that kind of stuff, that kind of rhetoric on Twitter, it's fun to do every once in a while, but the hyperbole is only going to hurt you. It's not going to help you. Normal people in the country that don't do these things observe this particular brand of hyperbole, observe this particular brand of rhetoric. They're turned off by Trump, but they're also turned off by the resistance. And when that kind of stuff happens, you keep the status quo. You don't change anything. So I worry about, you know, people's ability to deal with this rationally in a way to get a win, because I'm telling you right now, 2020 is anyone's game, but like, what is the goal? You want to impeach Trump? Okay, so you get Mike Pence,
Yeah.
and then you're going to impeach Mike Pence. So you get Paul Ryan, who could easily beat any Democrat running against him if he ran for re-election or ran for an actual, you know, Ford-like 76 election or whatever. I just don't get it, and I want people to try a different way, because I think a different way will work better. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't. Clearly, the evidence.
I hold
says-
on to the hope that
says
for
contrary.
everyone freaking out today and existing in hyperbole and doing all these different things, it's similar to how election night and day, you know, there's 24 hours of the election, right? We'll say was a punch in the gut. Today's a punch in the gut. You get up, you dust yourself off, and we go back to trying to be Americans and figure this out and figure out what we're going to do. Kevin, I just gave you a clip that I want to run before this clip, if you don't mind, for the green screen here. Well, this is a browser clip, actually, I guess, more than a green screen. But throw this up. I want to show. We have two tidbits for you here. Two things for you.
Oh, I saw this.
Oh, did you? We're gonna watch it again because you're such a big Bane fan.
And giving it back to you, the people.
And we give it back to you, the people.
Just your favorite Batman villain.
Bane would have
right?
been a great president.
Would he? He would have made America great again.
So I will more eloquently explain how I feel and what I think that the way forward is, keeping in mind a very interesting thing, talking about the political loop instead of a line, the spectrum. Much of this is hard for people to wrap their heads around, but a lot of the economic message of Donald Trump is Bernie Sanders' economic message. They're indistinguishable, actually, from each other. So if you believe in that kind of economic populism, then maybe pull for that. And like, what I'm wondering is, like, what is victory for the anti-Trump movement, right? Is it that he fails? Because then we're all fucked. Like, I voted for Obama in 2008, but in 2012 I voted for Mitt Romney, and I still wanted, when Obama won, I still wanted him to do well, because it's important that he does well. And I felt the same way. I voted for Bush, but and I actually like George W. Bush, but the opposition, the Kerry voters that voted, it's like, but we should want him to do well. Like,
now he's our president,
yeah,
right?
So
that's
like,
the thing.
I understand having a...
And that's what we talked about leading into this, right? That it would be the test of mettle of how many people were offended when Obama got elected, and so many people put the "he's not my president" bumper stickers on, right? People are like, that's so bullshit. He is the president. Da da da. It's our country. Well, now the shoe's on the other foot, and is it the same thing? That Trump's not your president,
Right.
and what do we do? How do you figure this out?
So from like, could there be a way that people could work together?
Yeah.
A portion of Bernie Sanders' economic message is, again, indistinguishable from Trump's, specifically in attacking NAFTA, a manufacturing base, building these in the United States. And Sanders seems to be, although he hasn't really talked too deeply about it, or didn't talk too deeply about it, seemed to be a protectionist. And so, while the other half of his economic message was the billionaires and millionaire class and taxing the rich and all that kind of stuff, which Trump doesn't do, could we find common ground, or could those two sides find common ground? Because I've always been a protectionist. So could everyone find common ground in this thing? Could we work together in this way and affect positive change for people in that respect? Because it's over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's over. And whining in the streets isn't going to change anything. It's not going to change a goddamn thing. And as I said yesterday, in 1968, doing that kind of stuff got out of control and handed the presidency to someone that people didn't necessarily want, because he was the law and order candidate, or he was the guy that kept order, or the person being attacked. We have to learn from history, and we also have to just be smarter about the way we go about things. And so, I just feel like, it's disappointing to me that the reaction is like to attack his children, or to attack the way he looks, or it's like, who cares? Like, I like, what is that? Is that relevant to what we have today.
Yeah.
Can we also look at the positive things? Why did the market react positively to his election? And can we learn something from that? And can we garner something from that? And how do we, we must have an honest and good and powerful liberal resistance. It's important that there are two sides and that they're basically co-dominant with each other, so that one side doesn't, necessarily dominate polity and dominate what they want and all that kind of stuff, which is what happened.
Sure.
And what I'm worried about the most is that Democrats don't seem to understand. There's a lot of writing about this, but a lot of people don't read deeply. Is the Democrats have been completely wiped out at a local and state level, like insanely wiped out. There's a great New York Times piece about this and an NBC News piece about this, and they have to rebuild from the ground floor again.
Yeah.
They didn't expect to lose, and what it did was expose the fact that this powerful federal facade in which there is very little democratic power in the actual states. The Democratic Party is going to be in the wilderness for a while, and they need to figure out why that is, and that it's going to probably get worse in 2018 in the midterms, and that they can come out fighting and swinging with a message.
Sure.
It's very easy to beat Trump on messaging. You just can't get into the gutter with him.
Yeah.
Just stay out of it. And beat him on the policy front. And so that's kind of how I feel about it.
No, it's interesting. It's an interesting time for sure, interesting day. I thought what you're talking about when you're talking about the echo chamber, when you're talking about people whining in the streets, as you put it, I thought it was one of the most powerful things in Obama's farewell address was when he was talking about, don't argue with people on the internet, talk to them in real life. You know what I mean? Because that is the thing, is like, I think we get carried away and you're talking about hyperbole and the way people act and treat and talk to each other. And it is yelling matches in cyberspace, which you would never do in real life. You'd have a heated conversation for sure, but you would understand that this is a multifaceted person who believes more than just this one argument we're arguing about right now.
Yeah.
And people lose sight of that, and that's how far we got off track during the election, which was one of my big points I kept bringing up on Game Over Greggy's show and stuff, how fucked the conversation was.
Yeah, my feeling will be the same. I've lost elections, and I lost this election too. I didn't want Trump to win. I didn't want Clinton to win either, because she sucks as well. But the message is the same, that we should want to have peace and prosperity and an uplifting message for all Americans, and that we can fight on policy and all those kinds of things, but eventually, hopefully people kind of come together and figure things out, because
for the good of the nation.
Yeah, because it's just like there are imperative things that need to happen. And what I'll be interested in, we were going to do it on Game Over Greggy's show, as I said yesterday, this week, and we'll do it next week instead, is I really want to see specifically how everyone feels about specific policies. When you remove the facade of the man,
sure,
what do you agree with and what don't you agree with, and go from there. The beauty is that Democrats have a really great high rung bench for people to run. You have Castro, you have Warren, you have maybe a very elderly Sanders, you have Biden, you have so an older bench, but still a good bench of people to run in 2020.
Would smiling Joe Biden have run away with it if he ran against Trump?
Yes, Biden would have won.
I think so too.
And I'm sure he knows that, and I'm sure he regretted it. The last episode of The Circus, which I encourage everyone to watch on Showtime, very great show. You have a very long interview, very candid interview with him. You can see it on his face. He knew he would have won, and he talks a lot about it, really, kind of candidly.
Because his son wanted him to run, right? But when he died or whatever.
So, I don't know. And above that, I want to I've been into politics for a very long time, and I've studied politics, and I like politics, and I enjoy them, and it's always been a blood sport. It's been a blood sport forever, long before the United States, long before, very long time.
Sure.
And that's the way it is. But I feel like we've moved into a very disturbing space of personal attacks and all those kinds of things. Not necessarily unprecedented, but certainly unprecedented in modern history. I want people to remember that, people vote their conscience, but they also vote for the same reasons. They want a good life for their family, the so-called pocketbook issues, the wallet issues, all those kinds of things. And I don't like the disparaging of necessarily voters that vote their conscience, And I know good people that voted for Clinton, and I know good people that voted for Trump. And at the end of the day, they agree on 90% of the issues anyway. So I think we can find some common ground there.
Well said.
And I hope we do as well.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kinda Funny morning show each and every weekday here on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about before jumping to the chat to answer your questions, comments, and concerns. In between those two segments, I give away a video game each and every day. You can win by being in the chat like you are right now, or subscribing to us, or supporting us on patreon.com. Kinda Funny or Kinda Funny Games. As if manna from heaven, Colin. Yesterday, We watched some stuff, and I said I was gonna show you a Netflix thing. You said, is it the House of Cards teaser? I said, no, doesn't exist yet. That'd be awesome. Today we get it. Big Kev Dog, run this for us. A little bit of House of Cards up in this piece. It's super short, not even worth green screen probably, but no big deal.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fucking beat. I miss it.
They're a little late.
Dude, yeah,
Usually
that feels way out.
Well, I'm just saying, I feel like the episodes would come out this time of year,
February-ish,
right? Yeah, nonetheless. I wonder if that will be the last one. I hope so.
It has to be, right? Like, what is this? I forgot. Did he, in the spoilers for House of Cards?
I don't even remember anymore.
At the end of it, he comes to, this is where he starts running with his wife as vice president. But I forgot, is that his first 4 years in the bank already? I think he was running for re-election. Yeah, I think he was. So
well, he didn't.
Oh, right, he got brought in.
He was in
so
after 2 years.
This is his first technical.
Yeah.
This is his first technical professional. Huh, interesting. We'll see what goes on. Jumping back to the world of video games, over on IGN, the Dark Knight of News, Andrew Goldfarb reports Nintendo considering video streaming services on Switch post-launch. Yesterday, we talked about the fact that no, the Switch will not have, or 2 days ago, yeah, with Nick, we talked about no, the Switch will not have Netflix out of the box. Nintendo gave IGN the following statement. All of our efforts have gone toward making the Nintendo Switch system an amazing dedicated video game platform, so it will not support any video streaming services at launch. However, support for video streaming services is being considered for a future update. How's that fit you, Colin?
This machine's not ready. I really don't understand. I mean, it seems somewhat obvious and somewhat clear that they're rushing it out, that they're putting it out prematurely. It seems.
You think it's?
You've heard
is it Zelda?
we've heard plenty of evidence that devs didn't even have dev kits until recently. Some still don't. You heard the fact that like you can only take screenshots with it. The online infrastructure seems a little half baked.
That's why you're getting it as a demo to begin with, and then charging in the summer.
I really do feel like Zelda specifically is what's forcing their hand with this machine. They gotta get it out.
They gotta put it out.
That they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. Switch probably should have been launched in the fall with Mario, right?
Yeah.
But if you release Zelda on Wii U, which they should have done already,
yep,
then no one's going to buy a Switch for Zelda specifically, maybe. You can maybe import it and maybe pick some people up. And I really feel like that seems, from my vantage point, somewhat obvious that has something major to do with it. That it just doesn't seem ready to go. Like, it doesn't seem like it's ready to go. And their PR excuses are just insane. Like, not that Nintendo's ever been very good at this specific brand of spin, but
yeah.
The quotes about Reggie's quote about, and I'm just paraphrasing, about why they came up with this eloquent solution of why you can't voice chat on Switch.
Sure, you're smart.
Because you don't want to bring your bulky headset. It's like, who the fuck brings a bulky headset around with them? PlayStation 4 comes with a little wire thing like you would.
One earpiece.
Yeah. It's like, what are you talking about? What you're saying doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with this. It's like, we're making a dedicated gaming machine. Well, Sony made a dedicated gaming machine, and Microsoft made a dedicated gaming machine with options. You know, Netflix is on your fucking toaster oven. It should be on. They just do not have the relationships. They do not have the wherewithal to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And the machine is clearly not ready to go.
Well, this goes back to the core argument you always talk about, is the fact that we're talking about third-party developers, but let's just talk about third parties, right? Nintendo's worried about this thing running Nintendo games and doing Nintendo things. It doesn't think about the fact of, oh, right, fuck, people probably want Amazon Instant and YouTube and Netflix and all these different things. That's not where their head's at. Their head's at, hey, we're gonna get this thing out, we're gonna time it with Zelda, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and okay, well, people use chat that other way for them, we'll do it this way because who cares, we're Nintendo. Like, it's that same insulated Nintendo that they've been forever. And like Colin was right yesterday, was talking about the fact is, we hoped and thought this was gonna be them taking a foot towards like, okay, cool, no, we realize we exist in a greater ecosystem and we can look at our competitors and our fans and understand what they want and what other people are doing in a different way and bring that in, and clearly they didn't again.
No, R&D of a console takes time. It takes time and effort, and they probably R&D'd multiple things and tried to figure things out. I mean, and things come and go. Remember when Morpheus was showed, Sony didn't even commit to the fact that they were going to release it when they showed it. They wanted to gauge interest. And what I think is, what happened is that I don't think that they expected the Wii U to bomb as badly as it did. Wii U was an abject failure for them, the worst selling Nintendo console, mainstream console they've ever released, and with the exception of really Virtual Boy and some Game & Watch stuff, the worst selling piece of hardware they've ever launched. And to me, that was a canary in the coal mine in terms of their ability to plan ahead. That when you have a successful console like the Wii, you're able to take your time. And they had, I think, even push Wii U out earlier than they wanted to because the Wii just kind of died. And they let it die. And I think that with Switch particularly, I don't know that they anticipated having to launch it this quickly, and I don't know that they anticipated necessarily even launching this particular SKU or this particular type of machine. And they were listening, I think, to people wanting a hybrid and all these kinds of things, kind of the obvious nature of the direction that they would go in, serving both the strength of their IP and the strength of their handheld division, and merging that with their console division, or their console initiative, I should say, in a way that makes most sense, that's most salient to them. And so I think that they're just in between a rock and a hard place, but unfortunately these kinds of situations, similar to Saturn with Sega, put people in a position where you release a Dreamcast that has some good ideas in it, but is half-baked and ends up dying.
Yeah.
And I really do feel that, I was seeing some predictions. One prediction had a lifetime sales of Switch at 50 million, which I think is absurd. And another had, Pactor, I think it was, but I could be mistaken, was saying something like between 6 and 8 million sold in its first year, which I think is way more reasonable, probably towards the lower end. And if that's the case, then it'll be on pace to be like a GameCube or an Xbox, an original Xbox.
Sure.
Maybe even an Xbox One, but half or more, or less, I should say, units sold of PS4. It's just they're in between a rock and a hard place, and they're going to continue to struggle in this way as well.
Let's jump over to some PlayStation news at GameSpot. Eddie says Uncharted: The Lost Legacy's tone, gameplay teased. This is Eddie boiling down a larger article from over at the official PlayStation magazine UK. The Lost Legacy puts you in the shoes of the character Chloe, who appeared in past games, but not Uncharted 4, and hasn't really been fully explored. The sympathetic villain Nadine from Uncharted 4 is also in the game, but we don't know exactly how the two characters are connected. It's set in India, according to the creative director, Sean Iskaya? SKG? What do you want to pronounce that? SKG, I would say?
Sean Skag, I'd say.
Skag? Okay. It will be totally different, but in the same context of the Uncharted world, he said. Moving on, he said, yeah, it's set in India. According to him, the setting works well for Uncharted. India's got really nice iconography, hidden temples, and weird deities we can play off of. So it's a perfect setting for Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, he said. Game director Kurt, friend of the show, is also quoted in the story teasing that in terms of gameplay, you should expect something different than Uncharted 4. Quote, I would say we're going a little more wide this time. I don't want to give too much away, but it's something we're really excited about on the gameplay side. This kind of contrast of an urban setting and a rural setting, a tighter experience, and more open experience. He added that Naughty Dog originally thought The Lost Legacy would be a DLC expansion for Uncharted 4 instead of a standalone game. Lost Legacy launches in 2017 for PlayStation 4. Watch the extended demo here, blah, 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 PlayStation Experience. I'm excited, Colin.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I don't really care anymore about it until it's in my hands.
Sure.
I don't need to read about it or watch any more videos and whatnot.
It was just interesting to finally get some news. After PSX, we hadn't heard anything about it. I like the idea that it'll be a bit different in terms of tone and stuff like that, because this seems like, just from that little bit, it seemed more espionage-esque, right? Of like, how you're gonna be doing it, not what Nate was doing in Uncharted 4 for sure, or Sam for that matter. Maybe a throwback more to, Uncharted 3 or whatever, some of their escapades going in and doing stealth work, but we'll see what happens. And I always like Nadine. Over on Playdead's Twitter, they're teasing a new game. Thanks for your warm reception of Inside. Since release, Playdead founder Arndt Jensen and the team have been working on the next adventure. Looks like we got a man here.
It's like an astronaut with a parachute behind, like dragged behind him.
Yeah.
Some sort of meteor or asteroid or whatnot, some collision.
Give me a prediction. When are we gonna see this game?
When?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's 2019 probably.
Okay.
I think it'll be way quicker than the turnaround from Limbo to Inside for multiple reasons. One is that I think that the reason Limbo was a success when it was just on PC, was just on Xbox 360, and everyone knows that was a great game. But they spent an entirely too much amount of time, I think, porting and dealing with ports and bringing it everywhere, which I think was smart because it blue oceaned the game and everyone played it and everyone had it everywhere they were. But I don't think they're going to really have to worry about that this time around. The game's already on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be anywhere else. And so I also think, and I'm just speaking frankly, I don't know, they're a private company. Inside clearly didn't sell nearly as well as Limbo. Didn't have it wasn't part of the gaming zeitgeist of the year, really. I mean, a lot of people loved it. I thought it was the best game of last year, but I think that they don't have the monetary cushion they did with Limbo to sit around and take 5 or 6 years to make a game. I just don't think that they're going to be able to do that. So I think that there's two things to keep in mind with this particular game, but who the hell knows?
Do you think Inside did well enough, though, to give them the... I'm sorry, do you think that Limbo did well enough to give them that buffer, that cash reserve, where it doesn't hurt as much, that Inside doesn't do as well?
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure Inside was still profitable. I mean, people played it. I'm sure people bought it, but I just don't think I think their situation is just very different right now than it was coming off of out of Limbo. Because, and although I'm sure Limbo's still selling copies and whatnot, but they just seem to take their time, but they also seem to be porting it everywhere. And I'm sure they use port houses or some other people to help them, but I just think that showing the art this soon indicates to me that, you know, they're ready to go.
Sure. We want to start stoking the fire, get you excited about it.
But they are such a very deliberate team that, and that's what makes Inside so good.
Yeah.
That I take all the time you need, but I would say 2.5 years. I'd say you see fall 2019.
Okay, good. Can't wait. Over on Deadline Hollywood, Mike Fleming Jr. says Shazam to split into 2 films. Dwayne Johnson to star as Black Adam. We knew about the Black Adam bit, but now they're breaking it into 2 films, which is interesting. The New Line DC property Shazam has morphed into 2 pictures. Black Adam has proven vibrant enough to become its own film to star Dwayne Johnson. Originally, the plan was for him to play the character in Shazam, which is the tale of a teen boy who can transform himself into a superhero by speaking the word Shazam. Black Adam is his arch nemesis and a complex anti-hero with a rich history of his own. As the studio began to figure out the movie, they realized, why not a twin bill? Johnson, who was excited enough about his meeting last week at the studio to tweet it, has done well with New Line, most recently teaming with Kevin Hart for Central Intelligence and the global blockbuster San Andreas. He's prepping more stuff. Yeah, I didn't realize this one. He's prepping the monster destruction picture Rampage, the arcade game that I fucking love. That is New Line's 2018 slate. I'm still heartbroken about this, Kevin, and let me explain why. Is the fact that when they were talking about the Shazam movie, they should have gotten Dwayne Johnson to be Shazam. I mean, The Rock is so great at being this huge, rough, tough guy that for him to play a superhero who is a 5-year-old, 7-year-old boy would be awesome. His eyes all wide like he does in Central Intelligence. It would have been perfect. And when they announced him as Black Adam, I was like, oh, that sucks. Scarpino tries to tell me that the reason they do it, of course, is that they can't afford Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, for all these movies. So they want him to come in here, not be the main character, get in, make people go see the movie, and then get out. Now he's got his own movie. Now he's going to be in the second movie. When they came out of that conversation with DC and Warner Brothers and had the logo behind him and talked about how great the meeting was, I really fucking hoped it was going to be, all right, I'm going to be Shazam. I'm going to fucking step up and do this instead of being Black Adam. But he's Black Adam, which is fine. Cool character. Love The Rock. Glad to see him in the DC universe, but if he would have been Shazam, Kevin, that would have been fucking awesome.
Prediction: this DC movie will not be the DC movie that will turn the ship around for them.
I mean, by the time they get to this movie, if they haven't turned the ship around, they're fucked. I mean, this is way too far out for that. The ships they've been unmoored and are just drifting around in the bay. Someone needs to grab them and fix them.
I've said it before.
If Justice League isn't some kind of, all right, we're getting on track, will this even happen?
I said it before, so I respect the redundancy that a lot of people have heard this, but again, I just see these characters from DC's slate, and then you see and hear the characters from Marvel's slate, and it's just, I like Batman a lot, but it just doesn't seem like they're playing even on the same field, like the same level. Just doesn't seem like that.
In which way? That Marvel's outclassed him so much?
Yeah. Like it's just.
Well, Marvel did it right. Marvel took characters you didn't care about. Iron Man was popular, but he wasn't like he is now. They gave him a movie that was awesome, and then they made him another movie that was not as great, but still you were happy to see him. And then they put him in Avengers, and now he fucking matters, and that's how they all did it.
But to wit, the characters that you should care about in DC don't even seem that compelling, with the exception of a few of them, like Aquaman. Like his appearance, and I laughed out loud when we saw Batman vs Superman or whatever. I was like, that's so funny. It's so ridiculous. It's what a ridiculous character.
Why he hovered so long? No one in the editing was like, Zach, why would he hover? He's keeping himself a secret, but he's staring at a camera for 30 seconds? Why didn't it just be eyes, trident, boom, away? That would have been awesome. That would have been a great scene. I digress.
There's just, superheroes in general are corny. I mean, that's part of the thing. That's part of what it is.
Comic books are corny,
yeah. That's not even really meant in a negative way. That's just what they are. It's the same reason that like JRPGs are corny.
Yeah.
There's a corniness level. There's a camp to it, And to me, like, I look at the corniness levels of all of them, and I'm like, man, these characters are so fucking corny. Even, and I know people like Wonder Woman and stuff, but I mean, we look at this, I'm like, these characters suck. Like, what? Like, Batman is so cool. You need more Batman characters. Batman's fucking rad.
Yeah.
But then you like see the X-Men, you see the Logan trailer,
Logan trailer's great.
you know, the Spider-Man, or then
Spider-Man.
Fantastic Four. I'm like, Fantastic Four.
No, nobody likes Fantastic Four. Don't worry about that.
I just see a
camp off the chart.
I just see a major disparity that I feel like is not going to be corrected. They should just double down on Batman because he's awesome.
I mean, that's what they'd like to do, but Ben Affleck continues to want to make bomby fucking shit movies when he should just be making 7 Batmans over a course of 3 years and staying in shape. I don't understand why it's so hard. Let me over there, Jeff Johns. I'll set it all straight. Over on Twitter.com/PlayStation. PlayStation says PS4 YouTube app has been updated to enable 360 videos when using PSVR. Find highlighted 360 videos here. That doesn't matter. Just a nice little update for PlayStation VR. Somebody talking about it and adding in something maybe that should have been there from the start, you'd say, but similar to the Switch, you gotta get out there with your product, I guess, and then start making your changes and stuff like that, whether it's Netflix, whether it's YouTube 360. But a nice, as we talk about PlayStation VR so much on PS I Love You XOXO and Kind of Funny in general, nice to see an update coming for it. I'm gonna jump into tips now. Remember, Nick Scarpino fixed tips this week finally. The war with PayPal is over. So we're gonna start with Big Poop Monster 69, who gave us a tip that says, Big Poop Baby.
Go to the restroom.
Are you gonna take a big poop?
Yep.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Are you taking the big poop because Big Poop Monster 69 said Big Poop Baby?
No, I just needed a break, and the word poop reminded me I wanted to go poop.
Also, look at you wearing a maroon sweatshirt too.
Is your zipper open?
Probably.
He's Kevin. He's a walking calamity. Project Octomom Tumblr says, so Greg, you ever slammed that big ham hock between your legs into a wicked hot sesh of Cookin' Mama? Whoo, son, you know I play some Cookin' Mama here and there. That's another Switch game we need back.
Majesco.
Where is fucking Cooking Mama? And I want another Animal Crossing.
I feel like Majesco owns Cooking Mama, right?
The
And Majesco's gone.
Yeah.
So who knows who owns...
Midnight City.
They merged with a medical company or something like that.
Did they really?
Yeah,
I forgot about that. I missed that.
I remember going to their very sad E3 room a few years ago.
Yeah.
To play some very sad games.
I'm sure.
Don't know why anyone made me go do that. My time probably could have been better used elsewhere.
Neffy AZ says, any chance that Nintendo would consider a Netflix-style subscription for their virtual console catalog? Would it be profitable? My answer would be, no, they won't consider it. That's far too forward-thinking of an idea. And would it be profitable? There probably money to be made on that in some way, shape, or form. Maybe only like play a certain amount or whatever of a game, but do you think it's a possibility, Colin?
No.
No, of course not. Hyrule Scribe says, here's my tax to celebrate my platinum of Skyrim Special Edition. Holy shit, good work. Next up is Final Fantasy 15. Wish I could track my achievements when I 100% Breath of the Wild. No, there's no achievements to track because they won't be in the game. Don't worry about it. DJ Kento says, Bill Maher and HBO bought the ad space on Snapchat's inaugural feed. Every 4 or 5 snaps, he's there talking about how Trump needs the other half of us. Could you imagine anyone else doing that? Smart move.
Seems like a waste of money, but
That's a great move.
did you see the ad for last week tonight?
No.
Coming back, it's so funny. I'll bring that up and put it on the thing while you're on.
Win Dexatron says, my girlfriend and I broke up today, ending a 5-year relationship. I'm 22 and haven't been single since high school. Any tips on what to do next? Take a deep breath. Your world isn't ending. With all due respect, this relationship was never going to last the entire time. You're very, very young, and I know that nobody wants to be told that. But a relationship you began in high school wasn't going to carry you through, most likely, the entire way. So don't worry. Take a deep breath. The world is not ending. Breathe. Go hang out with your friends. Have a drink if you want to do that. Play some games. Chill out. Don't overthink it. It will come to you. Don't chase it. It will come to you. You will be okay. DPNEME says, where did you get your shirt, Greg? So awesome. Oh, my, a Buffalo Original chicken wing shirt in the Stranger Things style. This was tweeted at me months ago by a fan in Buffalo, New York. They were doing a fundraiser out there for something or other, so this was a charity shirt that I bought and had shipped out to me. Big fan. Get a lot of compliments on it. You should have been following me when I tweeted about it. Blazing High 420. Hey, Colin, you have a pretty ass. Can you turn around and show me them big old buns, big boy?
I don't like being objectified like that. If I was a woman, would you talk to me like that?
I mean, Blazing High 420, he might.
If I was a woman, would you talk to me like that? Stop with your reverse sexism. Dismissed.
Got him.
Thank you.
Fucking got him.
Wait, isn't it just sexism though? Is sexism?
This is the famous argument of if there is such a thing as reverse racism or if it's just racism.
Pretty sure it's just racism.
And I'm like, yes, I think maybe, but it's a fun term. I put in a new link that I need you to click on, please.
Because of the poop?
You look like you're losing weight.
It's probably from not eating the last 2 days.
Oh, you've only not been eating for 2 days. Never mind.
You've been counting the calories, so they're at 0 right now.
Yeah. Everything. I'm actually really hungry.
So what's hurting right now?
Everything.
Your ribs from coughing?
Yeah.
But you feel better today?
Tim said, so much better. Tim said something funny.
That'll do it. Okay, cool. Prep Colin's next link there. I'll keep going this way. Real Radic 13 says, Colin and Kev, have you guys finished Black Mirror Season 3? I finished the episode about games. It was great until the very end. Also, why do you hate the white bear ending, Colin?
I don't want to talk about that because I'll ruin it. The White Bear ending.
Which one's white bear?
That's the one with the prisoner.
Okay.
Which they ruined at the end. The video game one is by far the worst one. This was a disappointing thing. There's 2 episodes left in Season 3 that I've not watched.
Me too,
But everyone's like, oh, you got to watch the one about VR and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, that is, with the exception of maybe the Waldo episode, the fucking worst episode of Black Mirror. It's not even good. Like, that's what, I'm like, everyone, just because video games is involved, and everyone's like, oh, it's great. I'm like, this episode sucks.
Yeah.
It was really disappointing. I was super disappointed because I think I might have told the story, but Erin's cousin, I was like, we were watching, and she's like, I've never seen Black Mirror. And I'm like, Kate. And I was like, oh, well, we're going to watch this next episode. We haven't seen it yet, so we all watch it. And I was so disappointed. And I'm like, that episode is not indicative of how good this show is. You know? Like, and so, yeah.
Are you prepared to show the last week tonight, Trey?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, wait, I'm unplugged. Because, can you help me here? Okay.
All right.
Yep.
In 2017, HBO's biggest Sunday night show returns.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. You meant...
Yeah, not you.
Right. Yes, just I heard your voice, and I assumed...
I said biggest.
You did.
2017 also brings you the much-awaited 4th season of HBO's smash hit comedy.
Oh, again, I thought you were talking about a different show.
He said hit comedy.
I hear that now.
At best, you're an acquired taste.
You have made your point.
Sometimes we don't want a British man yelling at us about how the world is ending for a whole hour.
Well, it's a half-an-hour show.
Doesn't feel like it.
And finally, it's the long-awaited return of the HBO show everyone's been waiting for.
Oh, no.
Oh, you thought that applied to you?
Yeah, I did, because we've been off for a while,
Well,
so...
you know, 5 years.
Yeah, why have you been off for 5 years?
I've been busy, okay?
What have you been doing?
Things.
I love how he's eating a popsicle.
Tonight with John Oliver. Don't even think about it.
Sorry.
Return Sunday, February 12th.
That's
on
really
that was a
HBO.
really great ad.
Try it free.
Good on John Oliver. I always loved him on The Daily Show. When he branched off to do this thing, I was like, we'll see what happens. And I'm glad to see it's found an audience. I enjoyed it. It's funny.
This is really the first time we've seen Larry David, like, from season, what would it be, 9, 10 of, right?
For 5 years. Yeah.
9.
Season 9, right?
9. I think 9. That was the last season.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Yeah, 9. Yeah, I was just counting the years.
Gotcha.
For some reason, I know the years that the curve was on, but I don't know the actual.
Audrey gave us a tip and said, Greg, where'd you get that shirt? I need my life. Sorry that you wasted your money. A charity thing. Should have been following me on Twitter. Prince of the Universe says, is it possible that finishing The Last Guardian and Gravity Rush sequel were legitimately just kind gestures to fans, or were both endeavors just risky, wishful thinking on the part of Sony? Is it possible they were kind gestures, or were they both just endeavors? Wishful thinking on the part of Sony. I mean, you had to finish Last Guardian. That had come too long and been too long. And then Gravity Rush, I think, there's an audience for it. Not huge. If you set your sales expectations and your budget correctly, then you'll be all right.
So, Sony wouldn't make anything without wanting to make money on it.
Exactly.
They wouldn't. Yeah, they would never. Make
it isn't a
anything.
charity. They're not worried that much about their public.
They couldn't give a fuck less about anything but money.
Yeah.
They're a corporation. Mark
Mark from the Rest says, Colin, what are your thoughts on jury duty? I understand that there's a certain amount of civic duty involved, but I hate the idea of being forced to do something I don't want to do.
It's essential. And this might be redundant to people who watch this for a long time. Jury duty is very important. It is a unique it's a unique institution that not everyone in the world gets to enjoy. In some parts of the world, you're tried by the state with no jury of your peers, and it can be a kangaroo court, and they can just fucking throw you away or execute you or whatever, and those things happen. The fact that we are tried by a group of people from society is an amazing thing, and I'll say this. Yes, no one wants to go to jury duty. I was on a jury once when I was in college, and it's annoying.
You were
it's
foreman,
obnoxious.
right?
Yeah, I was the foreman of the jury, and it's an obnoxious disruption to your life, and no one understands that. But if you were ever in trouble, and you did something or you needed someone in a civil case or a criminal case, you better fucking hope those 12 people in that box want to be there. So try to give them the respect of you wanting to be there as well. This is something that is going to happen to you. You're going to serve on a jury 1, 2, 3 times at the most in your life. I've been on jury duty several times, and they're just like, get the fuck out of here. You know, in California, you call a little number.
I call in. I've called in every time and never ever been like called or picked.
You want to go in with an open mind, because if you ever needed someone, man, you better hope
you don't
that
want
they
somebody
went
there
with an
tapping their
open mind.
foot, looking at their watch, like, let's just get this fucking over with.
Try to project those kinds of positive things in your experience, and then, God forbid, you ever need that, man.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You want everyone being like, I don't want to be here making excuses to get out of it.
Not reading the paperwork, not paying
exactly.
attention to the testimony, all this dumb shit.
Not okay.
You got to pay for it. Adam Star 211 says, "Here's my tax for obtaining the Mad Max Platinum. Greg, did Philip DeFranco ever get back to you? Thanks, Hail Colin." Me and Phil traded messages, but there's nothing locked down. I'll keep you posted. And then final tip for right now, Horace 1996 says, "Hey Greg and Colin, greetings from Belgium. I wanted to ask if it's worth it to buy VR for Resident Evil 7. Love you, keep up the good work." Of course, we can't talk about Resident Evil 7 if me had or had not played it, so we would have to wait till a review embargo list to tell you anything about that. But look at VR and decide if the library is enough for you to buy it.
You shouldn't buy any piece of hardware for one game, like the Switch,
you have to look at the
for
library
instance.
and decide, is there enough things to play there? You can kill this one, Kev.
Rich Hertz says, maybe I'll just not be a dick and commit crimes. Rich, that's a really moronic thing to say. What if you invested money in someone and they ran away with $15,000 or $20,000 of your money? You didn't commit a crime. I guess you're still going to need a jury to get that money back, though, right? Like, that's a pretty short-sighted and ignorant thing to say about jury duty. Most of the cases that go through courts are not criminal. They're civil.
You gotta run?
I think you should maybe not be here. If you get me sick, I'm going to be very upset.
He'd be past contagious by now. Did he put up the next story? I can't tell. No, didn't. There's a PSN flash sale. A lot of games are under $5. There are games for PS4, PS3, Vita, and this is from, I'm reading Chris Pereira's story over on GameSpot, including the sale. PS4 has the widest selection with $5 nabbing you Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, Bastion, Journey, Nidhogg, Injustice Gods of Among Us Ultimate Edition, Knack or Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, among others. Drop down to $4 and you can pick up Goat Simulator, Psychonauts, or Risk of Rain. You'll also find a few PS2 on PS4 games for sale. If spending $10 to $15 on slightly updated PS2 feels like what you want to do, you can get Rogue Galaxy for $5, Star Wars Bounty Hunter for $4. Over on PS3, you have sales that include Street Fighter, Devil May Cry, Battlefield 4, Shadow of the Colossus, and then you can pick up right now, Colin, Castlevania Symphony of the Night for $4.
It's a good deal. I paid $50 for it in 1998.
You could have waited.
No, 1997.
Did you ever think about waiting?
No. Couldn't wait. Saw it, had to have it.
Kev, can you bring up the trailer?
Have you seen this yet?
Yeah, I like it. I'm looking forward to this movie. This is the Colossal trailer with Anne Hathaway. Looks like an interesting take on a monster movie. I thought we'd watch it together. Best friends.
I just looked at the news and I think I'm in shock. A giant monster just materialized over Seoul.
That happened like 9 hours ago. You're just hearing about this. What have you been doing all day?
You ever notice how it just keeps destroying everything in its path, but it never looks down? It's like it's being operated by remote control.
Gloria, you gotta see this. It's dancing.
Is dancing like...
Holy shit.
Interesting teaser.
Yeah.
I like Anne Hathaway. I like Jason Sudeikis, that guy from the Soggy Bottom Boys. I like him all right too. And final thing to toss up there. Our good friend Hunter Pence, who helped us launch Kinda Funny, is nominated for the Shorty Awards. If you wouldn't mind, it'd be great for you to go over the Shorty Awards. Give a vote there for Hunter Pence. He's a good dude. Takes care of us. We want to take care of him. He's one of the best friends. He also did that Injustice Let's Play with us a long time ago. He's done a bunch of other stuff for us. Right, Kev?
Yep.
Thanks, Kev.
My Injustice shirt.
He gave you the Injustice shirt, cool, Greg?
Right now.
Wow. Look at that. Hunter Pence, man of the people.
Show the people your shirt.
Come over here and show this Hunter Pence shirt. So you're telling me at some point Hunter Pence touched this shirt? Well, you almost took it all off. Here comes Cool Greg, everybody, to model a shirt that Hunter Pence gave him when he went to do the Injustice stuff. There it is. This is an Injustice 2 shirt. I love Cool Greg. Cool Greg's
You
my
missed
favorite.
the biggest piece of gaming news.
Lay it on me.
I put it in the document. MPDs came out for the month, for last month, and for the entire year of 2016. Kev, you could just scroll down. I don't know if you saw these. I tweeted them out yesterday.
I saw you tweet them, yeah.
But for software for December, Infinite Warfare obviously won. This is, I think, I don't want to mistake. I think it's 9 years in a row in December that Call of Duty is the best-selling game in the United States.
Damn, son.
Final Fantasy 15, number 2. Battlefield 1, number 3. I saw Watch Dogs at number 6 there. Pokemon Sun and Moon were separated, separate SKUs, and no digital sales counted. That would be way higher if they were combined, and they probably should be. As you can see, The Last Guardian did not chart, which is predictable.
Yeah, of course.
No Titanfall 2 there either or anything like that. Some favorites being pushed away by some perennials like Grand Theft Auto.
What do you read into
also
Watch Dogs
notice
2?
what's missing on this list for the first time in a very, very long time.
No Grand Theft Auto 5?
No, Grand Theft Auto 5's on there. Look harder.
It's too small.
Look harder.
I can't! Call of Duty. Oh, Minecraft?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think this might be the first time Minecraft hasn't been on the list in years. I'd have to
It'll
go
be back. I guarantee when these new releases fall off.
I'd have to go back and consult.
Yeah. So what do you take away from Watch Dogs clawing its way on there then?
Honestly,
word of mouth?
probably a price reduction as well.
Yeah.
But,
word of mouth.
because they're talking about
reviews,
units,
Twitch
not
and stuff.
gross revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think word of mouth probably been strong. Although, I'm still confused because you're the only person I really ever saw talk about it. That's very anecdotal.
Sure, of
There's
course.
obviously
Yeah.
a lot of people out there that have played it and enjoyed it.
Yeah. I get tweets all the time now from people saying they started and they thank me for the recommendation or whatever.
So, no Minecraft on there, I think, is the big takeaway. Final Fantasy 15. So, the interesting thing about Final Fantasy 15, MPD started tracking statistics in the mid-90s, 1995. Final Fantasy 15 had the strongest launch for the series since at least 95, perhaps ever, probably ever. They can't say with definitive certainty in the United States. I think 18% over Final Fantasy 13's month 1 sales. So, good trending for Final Fantasy 15. Short, I think, of their, at least right now, they're very bullish. I think they want to sell 10 or 12 million of these, and they're about halfway there. But still very strong sales for Final Fantasy 15. And what's interesting about 15 specifically is that it seemed to have sold softly in Japan. And so Final Fantasy has officially become, I think, now, as we go through the Looking Glass, a Western IP.
Interesting. All the otakus over here taking it on.
I think similar to 7, it's crossed the mainstream barrier again. I don't think you've had a Final Fantasy's always sold appreciably, but I don't think you've had a mainstream Final Fantasy game since 1997, and I think that 15 is that mainstream Final Fantasy game.
Gotcha. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kinda Funny Morning Show each and every weekday here on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. We come to you with all the nerdy news you need to know about before jumping to the chat to answer your questions, comments, and concerns. But in between those two segments, I reach into my computer, grab a code, and throw it to one of you. That's right, we give away a video game every day here, and all you need to do is be in the chat. But if you want more chances to win, it's simple. You can subscribe to us on Twitch, which gets you the Kinda Funny logo next to your name, the private emotes. You get to talk to us privately each and every day. You also, one day, will play multiplayer games with us probably. And you get the show ad-free, but most importantly, you get entered into the chance to win the game without actually having to be here. You can go do whatever it is you do every day. Also, you can support us for $2 or more on patreon.com/kindafunny or patreon.com/kindafunnygames, and then the random number generator picks everything up. Kevin, are they seeing this right now?
Yep.
We're watching a game. Of course, Xbox has been great to us, giving us a whole bunch of games to give away to you. Today, we're starting our run of Rise and Shine. You might remember I got a poncho from Adult Swim with no information about the game. This is the game, it turns out. Looks kind of cool. Jumping around, shooting shit, why not? So we're giving away a Rise and Shine code. Random number generator says it's going to a subscriber on Twitch. Random number generator says it's going to Lethal Silicon. You get Rise and Shine on the Xbox One. Thank you for the clap. Thank you very much for the clap over there, Kev. That's big. That's big.
This looks fun.
It does, right? It looks cool.
Looks like
Adult Swim. They're doing Adult Swim doing interesting stuff with the games. Because they just came out and they were like, hey, we're gonna make games. Like, all right, cool. You can do them all about your, your shows and stuff. And then they started making original stuff. All right, go for it. I don't think they're great with the video game marketing yet. Here's a Poncho, no information. Remember we got that tape recorder? I was like, all right, well.
I still have that.
I'm good. You using it? You making little Talk Boy videos like Home Alone 2?
It doesn't record.
Oh, okay. Well.
I use it for FM radio to annoy Tim.
You're still listening to terrestrial radio, huh? Also, you're eating Tostinos over there?
Yep.
Are these the ones they mailed us forever ago?
Yep.
It's been cold at home. I've been wearing those big old Tostitos pants I got. How are they? How, these pizza rolls going down
They're
good?
Really good.
Yeah?
They're really good. There's like some nacho cheese ones and some pizza ones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's what I needed.
What do you want to do for lunch? Beeps?
Beeps.
All right, let's get a Beeps order going. Beep Beeps! Hey, Tim and Cool Greg. Do you want Beeps?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. This. There we go.
What the hell's happening?
This is the Beeps order music.
I don't think it is.
Surprised you didn't know this. You say you're a fan.
So much louder than I want it to be. At least Colin's happy.
Hmm? He said at least Colin's happy.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh.
Quick aside. Thank you so much for watching Colin Was Right. That came out yesterday. It's already on pace to be, I think, the biggest episode of the show, and should be our biggest piece of Switch content when it all settles, with the exception of
the reactions.
With the exception of our post show thing. It should pass everything else, which is awesome, and I really appreciate it. Keep circulating it. Thank you so much for your patience as I talked about Nintendo for two shows in 3
So now
weeks.
that you've baked on it an evening, in a day, 24 hours, are you going to go do the Shovel Knight thing?
I got to still reach out to them to see if I can fit it into another thing. We'll have to see.
Okay. I think you should.
But I appreciate your guys' support of the show. I really do. It's been fun, and it's really lit a fire under my ass. It's reminded me of a great deal of what I enjoyed most about being in this industry, which is taking the time to think about things and write about them and deliver some, I think, hopefully thought-provoking content. So I appreciate you.
Back to the tips while Colin orders his beeps. DJ Kento gave us 2 tips in a row here. The first one says, please try to have Kumail Nanjiani on there and his wife Emily V. Gordon on. They used to have a gaming podcast, The Indoor Kids, but they haven't hosted in forever because of their shows. Please bring them on. Here's the problem, DJ Kento. I know Kumail and I know Emily, and we were negotiating years ago when we were still in the spare bedroom before we left IGN to have them on. And Southwest canceled their flight. We're gonna have an Indoor Kids Kind of Funny crossover podcast. Southwest canceled their flight when they were coming up for Sketchfest. And that never happened. And then Kumail got huge. And I doubt, seeing as how they don't have time for their show, if they're gonna have time to come up and be on our shows. But we will continue to try. Don't worry. And then the second one from DJ Kento was, the director of Colossal Hump Me and the owner of CEO of the Alamo Drafthouse while in a human centipede on the red carpet of the Fantastic Fest Film Festival in Austin. I clicked the link, it's just them doing the human centipede thing. I don't know. I'm sorry, DJ Kento, I don't know. I don't know. Stevens _ says, for those asking, the shirt Greg's wearing was from 26shirts.com. I'm one of the artists for them. Speaking of wings, used your recipe last night and my stomach loved them as much as my butthole. Nice, thank you. He says thanks to me. So 26shirts.com is where I got this, unaware if it is still up, 26shirts.com. Waffle Sock says, greetings from Newfoundland. We're due for a blizzard this weekend, upwards of 19 inches of snow. Any recommendations for games that can be completed in a weekend while we hide from the snow? I mean, lots of games can be completed. Gravity Rush 2's out now. That's fun. Try that. Yeah, you can complete it in a weekend. Song of the Deep, I like the weekend. Ratchet & Clank, that's a good cozy. I'm gonna get cozy and have a throwback old school game thing. I'm enjoying 2064 read-only memories right now. I should pound that out this weekend when I actually have time to play games again. Those are my suggestions. Collins, you got a good weekend game?
Hugh.
Ah, yeah, really good pick. I did that a lot when I was in the cold winter up there in Quebec. And final tip of the day and the week goes to Marco Kazam. Colin, thoughts on the Women's March? You seem against protest for the most part. Do you feel it is not beneficial? You seem to be the type that would be on the streets.
I'm not against protesting. It's obviously your First Amendment right. I know a lot of people actually that I went to college with, friends of mine, or whatever, they're going to various marches in Washington and around the country. No, I'm not against it in principle. I just don't think that 9 out of 10 times they don't do anything. The last time that there was a major...
Cool, Greg.
The last time that there was a major, massive protest that actually affected real change was 50 years ago. So and that was for a powerful and important thing, civil rights. And so you have to be organized. You have to stay on the streets. You have to have good messengers. You know, not for nothing, there are no Martin Luther King Jr. type people running around today that have that kind of air about them, that have that kind of respect about them, that have that kind of uplifting message for all people. So most of the time in the 21st century, protests evolve into violence. They evolve into looting. They evolve into stupid shit that counteracts what your goal is, which is why I think you have to be very careful. Look at Occupy Wall Street, for instance. We were there. We saw it with our own 2 eyes in New York City that year when we were there for Comic-Con. That helped nothing. That actually hurt the message. That actually made Obama's path to re-election more difficult. That gave conservatives fodder to attack people, to call them jobless, to call them hypocrites, to call them all those kinds of things. You have to be very careful about the reasons you go on the street, how you organize, and all those kinds of things. And so do what you want. Be on the street every day if you want. But I can think of a million different protests that were out there that really affected no change at all. It makes you feel good. It's catharsis, and I get it.
Yeah. Into the chat, Josh Graff says, have they talked about Obsidian possibly teasing Fallout New Orleans in the past 2 days? Or did I just miss it at some point? No, Josh, you haven't missed it. I looked into it yesterday. It's just that image Obsidian's teasing a game. We don't know what it is. Until there's more information about it, I didn't want to go into like, here's this thing. I don't think it's going to be Fallout New Vegas. It'd be awesome if it was, but we'll see. Colin, do you think it's going to be Fallout New Orleans? I'm sorry?
No.
Yeah. Rad Rye Guy 05 says, Greg, what would DC have to do to bring you back into loving their properties again? I love DC properties more than anyone in this building, so don't worry about it. I never left. I'm the one over there on DC Island waving a flag saying all is well. It's not that bad.
And real quick, people were saying the Dakota Pipeline protest worked. You really think that's going to stick with this new administration? I want to be clear about what you guys are saying. You think that the Dakota Pipeline is just going to be, like, that whole initiative is not going to be reapproached in the next year or two? You know, I just don't understand that particular argument. Prestoid, I'll say. Just curious on your guys' thoughts about gaming while intoxicated. I know you guys don't partake in the dank Yarnum nugs, but how do you feel about drunk gaming? I feel like I haven't heard you guys discuss that much before. Thanks for the great shows. I don't like drinking and gaming, and I mean getting drunk and playing video games, because then I wake up and I can't remember where I am in the story or what was happening or what's going on, and it's just like, well, all right, that was a waste of time. I lost part of the shit. I like to be immersed in my games as much as possible. But I mean, like, for a party game, it's great. For Smash, it's good. For Towerfall, it's good. Kart, good. Yeah, I don't know anything about those Yarnum nugs. Kev, give me my one real quick. Give me my one real quick. You gotta give it.
He's gotta make. We gotta make the beeps happen.
You don't sound right. You look like you're dying.
All right, beeps is ordered.
All right.
No, I don't know anything about those dank Yarnum nugs.
Why did you ask for the one, but you look at the TV? Look at the camera.
Because I'm wondering why my reflection, why it's the same problem I was having on Colin was right. No, that's not what I'm talking about. My glasses.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to see if where the reflection's coming from.
Because if I go too high, this was something I was watching. I have to stay like this, but even then there's a reflection, and I have.
But this is the reflection on that, isn't it? Look down again. Well, not like that. Okay, not that severe. But I think because like I'm seeing in the glasses, I'm seeing the box. But also to kill the reflection, you turn off both TVs. You don't need the monitors.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't need a comfort.
Oh, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the
when you go all the way up. Yeah, when you look straight up.
Oh yeah, sure. When you look straight up.
Well, when I'm in the center, watch Colin was right. It's just something I've noticed. I don't care. That's why I was looking at the TV. Thank you.
Oh, if you care, we can fix it.
I mean,
but you have to care.
It's not really that important. You know, there were certain things we were worried about with the show, right? Like that we talked about with the show. We don't want to make it too long. We got to do this and that. Like all these complaints ended up being for naught. People want them to be long. No one cares about the glare in the glasses. No one cares. You know, it's kind of nice.
Ryton32 in the chat says, Colin, have you ever considered getting laser eye surgery? Me and my wife both got it. Best thing we've ever done.
No, I have 20/20 vision actually.
Me and my wife got it Best thing we've ever done. Not getting married? That laser eye surgery, but all right, cool, whatever. Whatever floats your boat, son. I don't know if we have an answer, but we'll try. Generic Stew says, hey, Colin or Greg, did Tim ever talk about the Breath of the Wild controls and if they were able to be inverted? I haven't heard anything about it since Colin mentioned it months ago. Hey, Tim!
I mean, he didn't attempt to invert them. He knows how to play.
I looked just for Colin, and it was not.
No inversion. No way to invert anything. But
there was a whole menu that we just didn't have access to.
Okay.
That looked, but there was a menu that looked like where it would be.
The first game released ever.
Finally.
That would be fucking awesome if they released that game and wouldn't let you invert it. Just 10% of their gamer base just gone.
Is it only 10%?
Yeah.
Some of them would convert.
Anime Warlock says, hey Greg, what are your thoughts on a live-action Young Justice / Teen Titans show? Don't bother. We got a lot of good shows happening. We're getting Teen Titans back. Or I'm sorry, we're getting Young Justice back. We're fine. We're in sub-only mode now. Justin Ryanbear says, God, if there's no inversion, I won't be able to play.
I wouldn't be able to play either. I mean, that was part of the reason why we had at E3 last year when I went hands-on with it. I'm like, I can't. They were like looking at me like I'm weird. I'm like, you guys understand you made a demo with no inversion, right?
Yeah.
Like that. I've been in this industry a very long time. You guys are the weird ones, not me. You know? Because it's a great Colin tradition to invert the game and then walk away from the kiosk and then watch the next person play.
Yeah, fuck everybody up. Yeah.
I mean, that's a great, long-standing Colin E3 tradition.
Those days are marked.
Two guys, one tank says, Greg, I just bought a house in unincorporated Glen Ellen. When can I hang out with JK? Big ol' Jamie Kennedy, of course. Congratulations on buying a house in unincorporated Glen Ellen. I'd love to know where it is if you want to chime back in with street cross dresses. Big ol' Jamie Kennedy doesn't live in unincorporated Glen Ellen anymore, so just hang out by a random Portillo's. She'll eventually show up. With me.
Cherish the
There we go.
life we have. We should cherish the life we live. Oh, cherish the life.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a copyright strike for that.
Because you're nailing it. You're just too close. Oh, 53 in Butterfield. Okay, you're out by the... Yeah, I know where you are. Yeah, you're out... You're like south of where I grew up. But yeah, I know where you are.
Oh, I'll tell. So these are all in the works right now, but just a little glimpse into GDC. I've been working behind the scenes to get a few interesting people to talk to, and I want to do one-on-one interviews with certain people. Our friend Jason Schreier's in.
Oh, nice.
Talk about the state of games journalism. Adam Boyce.
Good.
Wants to come and talk to me about digital storefronts.
Based on your conversation on Twitter.
So we have a couple, and we have a couple other people in the works as well. Reach out to Jim Sterling to see if he's going to be around.
I love Jim.
To see if that's a possibility. I'm trying to think. I'm forgetting someone. I am definitely forgetting somebody. Let me think here. Let me think carefully. Oh, Jeremy Parrish.
Oh.
Is going to come in and do something with us, I think. So that'll be fun, about old school games and retro gaming. So I have a good little gamut of interviewees. And I think that I want to label them all Colin was right somehow, but do like a Colin was right conversation.
Okay.
A conversation with Colin was right.
Okay.
Something funny that we can do. Like that.
Yeah. The questions have faded. It's over. This is the Kind of Funny morning show. Every weekday, 11 a.m. Pacific time here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We come to you with nerdy news you need to know about. Jump in the comments, concerns, blah, blah. We cut off the tips, but of course you didn't listen. Here, the final one comes from Justin Ryan Bear. He says, recently my father passed away. I inherited some money, so I'm now going to PAX to see you guys. Until I read the until I read the will and saw that he left everything to bongos.
God damn it, I knew it.
You knew it was going to be a bongo one there,
Yeah.
Kev?
It's funny because as I was listening to it, I was like, oh man, I've really been desensitized to these things.
And then there it was.
And
Punched
there it
you right
is.
in the face.
At the end, I was like, nope, there it is. Yep, he's a piece of shit.
If I read your name, you are a sub or a resub, and we love and appreciate your support. We have Luminia Teps 4, Uber _Zong Lungman, Indie _Lion, PD X Fresh, Babs Boone, Ann F0012, Row 101, that guy named Joey G. I say we play Colin's inevitable inauguration music with bongos. Kyle Guy, Calling Dr. Dame. Mr. Straightfire. I was trying to see if it was Mrs. something else. Proud to use Amazon Prime for you guys. Thank you. Butt Monkey. Loopy Tomb. Champ 4K. Keep making great content. We will. 2MG1013 Giggity. Rianal. Karugi 0923. Franken Panda. Patterson 48. Monkey FU. MB or EMB 416. N Wingman. Supervisor. Mr. Boo 1984. Woo, guys, it's almost Royal Rumble time. Who is going to win? Let's go Styles. Hashtag beat up John Cena. We're in pull for Xavier Woods. Angel Boogalari. I love you guys. You boy Angel from College Point, Queens. Waffle Fries. Kind of funny as love, kind of funny as life. N Online Ear Peak 78. J.R. Oliver. Opinions on Nintendo ceding the crown of couch multiplayer to their competitors by making the Switch ostensibly a one-person handheld console instead of a family gaming machine they're traditionally known for. It wasn't selling units before. King Franchise 88, the Indie Boy. Thank you for the amazing content and your kindness at Kinda Funny Live 2. Mark Freeman, anytime. Loyalty. Jub 388, Bongos, thanks for the entertainment, guys. Davis 0141, Xtal 84, The Juicy Dangler, Jesus. Crazy Domtar, you guys need to come to Kansas City. Zeal 999, Zisakudet, or Zisuzu Cadet. Zooby Zoo. Protali's channel. Adam Northwest. Go Dunder. Almost got the Final Fantasy 15 Platinum.
Gotta go fishing, huh?
Adam Mantoys has punted me twice, unfortunately. Cray Trey 1310. Hey, thanks for 20 months of fun and yucks. B. Jed War 2. Only certain death. I'm sorry you have a bad butthole, Colin. My girlfriend also has a bad butthole. No gluten or dairy for her.
How do you tell me more about her butthole?
He inspects it nightly. DJ Hectic, yo. Chris X Leone, got that platinum, boy. L Men Trill. Please fire Rick Smith, save us. Dr. Tash. Kevin, please stop smoking. You can live long, healthy life. Purple Man. Nick Olame Knight. Cranky Moose. Glad to subscribe for another month. Love the singing, and I'm very excited for GDC, the second best conference behind PAX Prime. You're crazy. Crazy Bit 37. Glad to support Kinda Funny. Love your content. Vermilion Squad. Love you guys. Done stop doing what you are doing. Postal Mustang. Sterling Life Co. Appreciate all the work. Well, we love and appreciate all of you for your support here on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. Until next time, have a lovely weekend. Enjoy yourself. And remember, it's been our pleasure to serve you.